Hello friends, I'm sorry again there is some sort of network problem here. So here this can even Delhi Sultanate also prohibited and also they have not given permission, and they also seen that they must be not compulsory on practicing of this sati system. And if let's see what was the practice, what was anti sati practice during the Mughal period from 1826 to sorry, from 1526 to 1858. Let's see what were the practices of the Mughal period. Basically, when we see the Mughal period, we thought that basically during the Mughal time, what I want to say is Muslims, although the Mughals interfered, they have interfered lot, at least some extent, into the customs, values, morals and practices in the Hinduism. We are not saying they are, but they have interfered. But they intended, they also stopped their intention, and they intended to stop this practice of sati system. To be very honest, it's a record in the history where Humayun, the first Mughal, he tried his royal fight. He tried his first first Mughal emperor who tried to fight against the sati practices also, practice also during Mughal region. And later even Akbar, the great ruler, the great king, one of the most dynamic ruler, the Akbar the Great, also he has not issued. Basically, he issued. He was next to the Humayun. He issued a notice, or what were called official general orders for prohibiting sati, and insisted that no woman could commit suicide without the specific permission given or taken from the chief police officer. If there is some specific means, even the Akbar has given a strict this thing to the what do you say orders to the orders to the officers, that the chief police officers means he has given strict officer that sati system must not be implemented, must not be practiced. And he also given freedom and also strict orders to the chief police officer that the cases must be delayed for not committing suicide, immolated herself or the death of the husband, so that the cases must not be given permission. If at all, if they are compulsory force, that the cases must be delayed as much as possible. Means, because when the days goes on, the intention of immolating herself or other will be decreased. They will come down. That was the intention behind the Akbar's general order. So that also given also another thing which has been thing. And also Akbar tried to give to make security in terms of the widows, because those days the widows are seen very different in the society. They were not allowed even by the in-laws and the parents, to be very frank, in the ground reality. And there was only one custom tradition. It's a very sad part that they used to be immolated after the death of the husband and a funeral cry. So, but still then, to stop this practice, Mughals basically Akbar, he also not only given police permission that they have to take permission, but also he has given some sort of allowances like pensions, gift, or some rehabilitation to help and to uplift the sati people or the women, and to stop the practice of the sati. He also came. And even during the period of Shah Jahan, which we see, that period of Shah Jahan also, they strictly observed that sati must not be, sati did not allowed. The practice of sati did not allowed. Where those days not only the woman but also widower, but also the child were used to burn in some cases. And in that cases where governors did not, because the governors has been given permission, and in reality, but the cases, even the governors used to have the power, but due to some bribe, they used to unseen the practice, unseen this incident, and there were a lot of cases where sati has been practiced, but under the the fourth Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb, where he was one of the strongest opponent of the sati among the Mughals, and compared to Humayun, Akbar, or the Shah Jahan. I mean, everybody has very good, done very good. I'm not saying XYZ is good, but they have tried their best. That's why when they interfere in the local customs and traditions of the Hinduism in this community, so they came to see that how this brutal practice, blind beliefs, superstitious beliefs has been practicing. So, and because they were the rulers, almost they ruled the India, the Mughals, and they 3/4 of the continent were under the capture. So they were, the Mughals has also said not to practice this kind of evil things, and they have done their very great. Now they up to their mark. Right? And the Aurangzeb, the other one is Aurangzeb, Mughal, and also he was also one of the strong opponent who stood criticized the practice of the sati, and also he has given strict orders where orders that under his rule, where the lands are there, where the subcontinent, wherever the Mughal Empire dynasty was there, under the rules of the dynasty, the lands were under control of the people. The states were under control. Never again they should officials. He was very strict upon the officials. They should that they should never allow for practice of sati anymore, and they should see that this kind of practice must be stopped. Okay, and never again should officers ignore a woman to be burnt alive. Okay, they must not make any case. They must see that if anything happens, the woman must not be burned. That was another strict order issued by the Aurangzeb. This was very important thing which has been practiced during the sati period. And as if you see the history, also we can see how step by step, stage by stage, how this practice of sati has been slowly curtailing, and has been slowly it has been started by even the Mughal rulers or the Muslim rulers. And when we see the practice of the sati or the anti-sati movement during the period of Britishers and European people, where their territory were there, in the limits of the territory, where by the end of the 18th century, the practice which we think of the practice 18th century, the practice has seen that it has banned, basically it has banned some of the many of the European people who were ruling India, and the European territories where the where they were ruling the India. There we have seen that this kind of sati practice has been banned, and they have taken a proper precautions and proper text in terms of prevailing or curtailing the practice of the sati system. But by and large, even the European people, here, what I mean to say is here, the Portuguese, the Dutch, the French, these also banned the practice of sati. Even during the British rule, also under the East India Company in the year 1798. In the year 1798, it has banned formally. Basically, if you see, East India Company, when it was set up in Calcutta, basically in the princely state, the Bengal provinces. In basically, it has formally entered in the Calcutta, and 1812, in the Bengal, basically when I talk about the Brahma Samaj, Rajaram Mohan Roy, okay, see, in the Brahma Samaj in the year of 1812, the Bengal reformer Rajaram Mohan Roy, he was one of the foremost leaders who was first to stop about the anti-sati movement, who was against the child marriages, sati movement, widow remarriage. He was for the widow remarriages, women education, and many things, many reform movement. He was there, Rajaram Mohan Roy, and he also campaigned against this deadly superstitious beliefs and custom and practice of the sati. And on 4th December 1829, basically the practice was formally banned in Bengal provinces or Bengal presidency's lands, basically by the then governor, who was Lord William Bentinck, the British governor. He has banned on 4th December 1829. Basically, in some other part also it has been banned. Like for example, in Jaipur, it has banned practice of sati in 1846, and even in some part of the, but Nepal, in the Nepal it has even continued the practice of sati system even up to the 20th century. If you and one of the, and also the on the Indonesia island, there is a place called Bali, and there the sati was known as Masatya, Masatya. The name was Masatya, and was practiced by the aristocracy people. Aristocracy people means what? The rich families, the big family, the royal families. So means what I say in the beginning of the class, I said this kind of practice was by and large practiced by all the different communities except Brahmins. That's the irony. In Padma Purana they said they were exempted. No, that is very important. Why only Brahmins were exempted from the practice of the sati in those days? It is from 400 BC, before the Gupta era, till the present 20th century. And why other communities were allowed to practice the sati, and where the widows were immolated by themselves after the husband funeral prayer? That is very irony, and there is a tragedy, and that the question still remains. Like why the question still remains? Okay, I'm not going into depth of this. But that's what say that is there. Aristocracy means also it's a royal family. It's a Kshatriyas. The second stage. The first person a Brahmin, and the second is Kshatriyas, third Vaishyas, fourth of the Sudras, who are the serving class people. But it is very important for us to see what made them exempt is very important. So we are not going in the depth of that one. So that basically that is what there. But in the modern times, following out of the sati of this Bengal one time, the Rupa case, the Rupa Mayar case in Rajasthan. So in government has enacted that Rajasthan Sati Prevention Ordinance Act on 1st December 1987, and later it passed a commission on Sati Prevention Act and Prevention Act, including Prevention Act, and also it included that are forcing someone to commit suicide, include they also face a very a very deadly punishment of 1 to 7 years in prison, or sometimes a death penalty also. In modern times, the practice the anti-sati came into the force, and also they have begun much of the life imprisonment, and while growing the sati, and also punishable for 1 to 7 years in the prison. The new act has come. The National Council for Women, NCW, has also suggested new laws, new amendments to be included in the commission, and also they also come out of the burying or the burning of any widow along with the body of a husband or any relatives, etc., is also a very punishable act under the Commission Act of 1987. So these kind of new amendments, this kind of new things has been emerged in terms of anti-sati laws. Many more laws has come into existence. By and large, now we can see some sort of this superstitious belief and this evil, deadly evil practice has come down a very vast extensively. But we are not seeing this kind of thing because of education. Everything is changed. Everybody has changed, and we are seeing a very nice and very peaceful society in terms of not practicing sati system. But by and large, somehow somehow there are some sort of places even till today where even media is not approachable. I hope these kind of things are being still practicing. But still then, at the limelight, the government is very stringent, and it is very harsh in terms of people or the community who are forcing women, basically the widow after death of the husband, to bury, to immolate herself or to burn or burying the widower after the death of the husband is a severe punishment, severe crime, and it is a punishable, life punishable, life imprisonment in the jail, and also so to some extent who are forcing, who are encouraging also, they are being punished, they will be punishable for 1 to 7 years imprisonment in the jail. So these kind of strict, stringent rules and laws are very much more needed to the Indian community, Indian social system, to stop this prevailing of deadly practice, social evil practice as sati. So I hope you all have understood my point, the lesson, the topic anti-sati. So if you have any doubts, so please ping me in the WhatsApp personally so that I can revert you back, and also I can clarify your doubts. Thank you one and all.